Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome yet again to our show. I'm your host. My name is Zilla. I'm so fortunate to be here and talking to you guys. Yep, and today I have another Nvidia live stream for you. Actually, I was watching um, CNBC News. Actually, CNBC, they cover a lot of business related stuff. They cover a lot of business related content. So actually, I am subscribed to CNBC. So as I was on my phone in the morning, then I received a CNBC notification on my YouTube feed, and then they were talking about Nvidia. So it's kind of like just coinciding with what I have today. So it's basically how high can Nvidia rise? So I just want to give you guys a bit of context and a bit of background that what really propelled Nvidia to rise to become a 3 trillion market cap company was really it was exacerbated by ChatGPT. Yes, it was exacerbated by ChatGPT. And actually, there's a statistic. If you guys go and look at how long it took Apple, because there are only three companies, right, um, that are $3 trillion market cap companies. We have Google, we have we have Microsoft, not Google. We have Microsoft, we have Apple, and we have um, Nvidia. I don't know why Google is not yet in that in that upper echelon. So we've got these three companies, and actually, it took Microsoft uh, 1,793 days. It took Microsoft 1,793 days to become a 3 trillion uh, market cap company. You know how much it took Nvidia? Because with Nvidia, it's really it's an interesting story because they jumped from 1 trillion and all the way from 1 trillion and then going to 3 trillion, powered by Chat GPT. So this is Chat GPT came out in, is it 2022? I'm sure at the end of 2022, something like that. So obviously, Nvidia's rise to becoming a $3 trillion market cap company was precipitated by ChatGPT. These chips, they are the ones that were used by the chat. They hold enough. I'm not into IT, so I could never know, but these are the best chips that are there. Remember, Nvidia is a chip maker. They are head above shoulders over everyone else, including I think your Dell and your IBMs. You guys, the people that manufacture. So Nvidia, it took them 358 days, okay, from from being valued a $1 trillion company to being a $3 trillion company. So look, yeah, let me give you a big picture. So from when they achieved $1 trillion to the time they got to $3 trillion market cap valuation, it took them what? It took them 358 days. Apple took almost three times from being valued as a 1 trillion market cap to a 3 trillion market cap. It took Apple almost three or four times. It took Apple 1,793 days. 1,793 days. That's some years, right? That's some years. But for Nvidia, that's a year. Okay, because a year has 300 and what? 365 days. Yeah. So it took Nvidia what took Google like roughly 4 or 5 years to accomplish from valuation of 1 trillion to 3 trillion. It took Nvidia less than a year. It took Nvidia only 358 days for them to move from being a $1 trillion market value company to a $3 trillion market value company. Okay, so then what we have today, like how high can Nvidia rise? Can Nvidia be the top dog because you only have those three? Of course, you have Apple. We do not have the stat for how long it took Microsoft, but we only have the side by side comparison between Nvidia and Apple. So how high can Nvidia sustain this growth, sustain this rise? Because now what's happening is all these companies in the tech, all these companies are now jumping onto having their own AI, right? Every company is now jumping onto it. They're having their own AI, having their own chatbots. We've been talking about this like for a very, very long time, but I'm still thinking Nvidia and ChatGPT are ahead of all these other guys. So let's see. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about: investment news, value investment, financial data, and also evaluation multiples. Okay, let me try to move my camera up top here, make it a little more bigger. Okay, so that's what also made us to uh, create this PPT about Nvidia, because it's the most interesting company in the most fascinating industry. Okay, they're into tech, but they are chip manufacturers. They're into tech, but they're also associated with a company that produced one of the best chatbots out there, ChatGPT AI. So they're into tech, manufacturing chips, AI, and I think and they are number one. Their chips are number one. Nvidia's chips are number one. Is what like people use for the live streaming or gaming. Nvidia tops them all. So this is also the other side of how we choose. We choose based on what the company has been doing. Like I did tell you guys, allow me to just try to move my face down here. Okay, there you go. So this is data from Bloomberg. Okay, this is a snippet from Bloomberg. And this is a good investment. Use billions of dollars to buy Nvidia. Okay. So there you go. Missing out. XLK ETF fails to get all the upside in tech stocks due to ownership limit. And you do know that Nvidia the other day they had to split their stock because one of their stocks were the price for one stock was valued over $1,000, 1,200 for just one stock. So they ended up doing a 1 for 10 or 10 for 1, where that one stock gets split into 10, and so that one stock will have 9 more. So instead of having one stock, you now have 10 stocks. Okay, so they did that as well a few weeks ago. Billions of dollars to buy Nvidia, the SDPR technology ETF XLK, with the scale of up to 71 billion, will undergo quarterly rebalancing to adjust its holdings in technology equity. Based on the recent surge in Nvidia's stock price, this ETF is expected to buy Nvidia's stock in large quantities. So this is another company that wants to have an investment, that wants to have a stake in Nvidia, and you see their valuation is very, very high. So they want to buy in large quantity with a scale of over $10 billion. So they're going to take $10 billion and they're going to buy stocks of up to $10 billion. Remember, this company is already valued at market cap 3 trillion. So everybody's trying to splash, right? Everybody's trying to splash because Nvidia is now the new kid on the block. They're doing good. Everybody's trying to get stock from there. We will also show you we will show you something about Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is big in Apple. I haven't yet heard about his investment in Nvidia. But you have these people spending, these other companies spending billions of dollars to just get Nvidia stock. So you can only imagine if somebody is going to invest $10 billion, how many stocks are they getting? That's a lot of stock, right? At the same time, Apple stocks will be sold off with an estimated amount of approximately 11 billion. Okay, so maybe this company, they have Apple stock already, so they are beginning to switch. They want to sell off their Apple stocks and they want to buy Nvidia stocks. And these two companies are competitors. Uh, so I think in the world of investment, you go with whoever is hot and whoever is promising. Of course, you cannot speculate, but it seems like Nvidia, they're what they're offering in the market is really, really lucrative. Okay, is really, really lucrative. In as much as Apple might have launched Apple Intelligence, which is the name of their AI. In as much as Apple is one of the big players, I believe some other people want to go with Nvidia because Nvidia's offer is promising, and of course, it seems like because they're the top chip maker, so they're not going anywhere. And it seems if you follow Nvidia, it seems that even their competition have not yet caught up. They have not yet caught up to them. So it seems like Nvidia, in as much as even their sales and how publicly demanded their chips are and their chips are used, definitely Nvidia seems is the way to go. So there's just this parallel here where these guys are selling off their Apple stock, which is approximately 11 billion, and then they are going to buy 10 billion in stocks or 10 billion worth of Nvidia stock. So they're jumping from one competitor to another one. So it's just a funny juxtaposition for me like that. It's just super funny. But that's what investing is all about on the highest level. Investment on the highest level is about these things, dropping one investment. And I mean, they still are a lot of people who will still, if you sell off your stock in Apple, I'm sure there's also somebody who is going to pick it up because remember, this is Apple that we're talking about. Apple is still extremely valuable. They're in the same category as Nvidia. Okay, so let's move on. Good investment news. Let's continue. It's still billions of dollars to buy Nvidia. They want to buy 10 billion worth of stocks. They're going to sell off their Apple stocks worth 11 billion. So let's see the weight change here. The new calculation results shows that the weight of Microsoft, Nvidia, and Apple in the XLK will undergo significant changes. Microsoft maintains its top stock position. So Microsoft is the biggest of the three of them. So they are they are their stocks. Microsoft. I mean, Microsoft has been around for a long time. Okay, No, we're talking about the Windows, the Bill Gates, and all these guys. So Microsoft is the biggest of these guys, all three of them. Microsoft maintains its top stock position. Nvidia's kind of like coming in between now. Nvidia kind of slowly overtaking Apple. So Nvidia weight surged, its weight went up, while Apple's weight significantly decreased. So Apple has dropped a bit. We'll try to see also what the news about that is. Without a weight cap, the weights of Microsoft and Nvidia may remain stable at around 21%, while Apple's weight will decrease to about 4.5%. So Nvidia and Microsoft are the ones whose the weight of their stocks is going to go up by 21%. Yet Apple's is going to decrease to about 4.5%. So there is a bit of changing of the guard, especially coming from Nvidia. This is impressive. I think this is also triggered by their 3 trillion valuation that now has some of these companies saying, like XLK, saying, you know what, we'll sell our Apple stock, and then which is valued at 11 billion, and we'll rather have stock in Nvidia. So you're seeing, so if there is one person like that, or one corporation, or one company that thinks like that, how many more people do you think are big investors, big corporations should be having a lot, right? Be like, you know what, man, let's get some Nvidia stock, because I think it's about just jumping in now. It's about just jumping in now. And as far as I'm concerned, ChatGPT is not going anywhere. If ChatGPT is just going to improve, okay? So let's go. Cash flow calculated based on XLK's asset size of 71 billion US dollars. This 15 percentage point weight change is equivalent to over 10 billion US dollars in cash flow. Nvidia will absorb a large amount of capital inflows, while Apple will face capital outflows. Okay, so capital inflows is just people buying stocks. So there's a lot of There's a lot of capital, an exchange of money, right? An exchange of money. And obviously, Nvidia have the stock, so they have the stock, right? And all these people like XLK Asset Management, they have the cash, they have the 10 billion. So They're gonna transfer that 10 billion. So that's cash inflow, right? And then for Apple now, they're experiencing cash outflows because the same people like XLK Asset are basically selling off their equity and getting cash out of Apple so the cash is outflowing. Okay, so this is just an interesting parallel. According to Matthew Bartolini, the head of SPDR America's research, although such a significant shift in index funds is not uncommon, it is not unprecedented. There have been previous rebalancing due to changes in industry classification, such as Amazon being moved to the non-essential consumer goods category. SPDR has the ability to respond to this major transaction, which will be based on the adjusted market value of last Friday closing price, and is expected to officially take effect this weekend. Okay, so it's going to take place this weekend. So these are common things. I think they moved Amazon, they moved the category, because these companies, they're in category, and also that is what determines industry classification. Amazon were moved to the non-essential consumer goods category. So all these things also affect the other players. Okay, so let's go. Buffett wants to invest in Nvidia. Let's see, because Warren Buffett, one of the most intelligent investors there. Let's see. But then Warren Buffett knowing how he functions, Warren Buffett is he takes his time. Apart from him being an older man, he kind of has his own understanding about investors, and that's what a lot of people like about Warren Buffett. Okay, but let's see what's Warren Buffett's thoughts in Nvidia. Okay, will Warren Buffett do an investment? Buffett is considered one of the smartest investors in the world, looking for stocks he believes are worth holding for a long time. When choosing investment targets, he pays attention to the company's fundamentals, including profitability, stability, growth potential, and management quality. In recent years, Berkshire Hathaway has bought a large amount of Apple and Amazon stock. So I know he's got a large amount of Apple. I think Berkshire Hathaway has got most of its shareholding in Apple and Amazon stocks and achieved considerable returns. Buffett has expressed regret for not investing in Amazon earlier. Okay, he's like, okay, I'm so sorry. Why couldn't I invest in Amazon earlier? Blah blah. We all make that. Okay, you can't get all of them, guys. Okay, which shows his regret for missing out on high quality investment opportunities. So you understand. However, it is worth noting that despite Nvidia's significant growth potential in the AI and data center sectors, Berkshire Hathaway did not hold any shares in it as of the end of 2023. This may be related to Buffett's cautious attitudes toward technology stocks in the past. Okay, so it's just that Warren Buffett is a man who takes his time. Like I did say, he's an elderly man, is an elderly statesman in the world of investing. So obviously, plus he's a bit skeptic about technology stocks because remember he's already invested in another technology company, which is Apple. Okay, so he's just got an attitude towards, he's being cautious about technology stocks. Like in the past, I'm sure even before he entered into Apple, he was a bit kind of reserved about technology stocks. And there can be a lot of reasons for this, guys. It could be something like, let's say, probably you do not really understand uh, what the underlying business is all about. Probably you do not have any understanding, or you're still trying to really grasp what the industry is all about. So a lot of people have got different approaches, which is, the best thing that you could do or you could do for yourself. So let's go there. So there we have a graphic there for Warren Buffett. Excuse me, my face is interrupting again. Let me try to bring my face here. I always try to shift. Okay, I'll put it next to our WhatsApp. Guys, do not forget to scan our WhatsApp and join us on our WhatsApp. So this is Buffett's top holdings as of 31 March 2024. So you can see in Apple Inc. Apple takes the majority of his investment, that is 40.81%, a stock valuation of $135.4 billion. Okay, so he's got stocks worth $135.4 billion in Apple, a technology company. Is there another technology company? Let's see. And then next to that, he's got what? Bank of America, the largest bank in the States. His stake is worth $39.2 billion in Bank of America. And then he has American Express, which comes next, which his stake in American Express is 34.5 billion, and then there's Coca-Cola, food and beverage. Coca-Cola is how much? 24.5 billion, and then Chevron Corp. Chevron should be a manufacturer, if I'm not mistaken. They have a stake of he owns a stake of about 19.4 billion in there. And you can see also they have percentages. So the biggest five are Apple, Bank of America, American Express, Coca-Cola, and Chevron Corp. Okay, so the largest proportion is 40%, which is 135 billion. These are billions of dollars. Okay, and then you've got the other ones there like Occidental Petroleum, Chubb Limited, Moody's Corporation, the Crafts Heinz Company, Chubb Limited, Davidas Inc., and others. Others are just written others. Okay, so tell me, guys. So where? Okay, so would he invest with, you can see this is his investment portfolio, right? It's quite diversified, like we did speak about, having a diversified portfolio, having stocks in or equity in a technology company, having equity in a car manufacturer, having equity in petroleums, having equity, like obviously it seems like his approach kind of covers the whole spectrum, almost every sector. You can definitely say that Warren Buffett, his investment is almost in every sector. Okay, we're talking about financials like Bank of America and American Express. They're also into that as well, and many other different sectors of the economy. So he is an economy himself, Warren Buffett. So, I mean, if he has a stake in Apple, which constitutes 40.81% of his entire diversified portfolio, will it make sense for him to go to get some Nvidia stock, who are probably an Apple competitor in the technology sector? How does it play out? Well, only Warren Buffett knows, right? We don't know. We're just speculating over here. Okay, let's go. So that's Warren Buffett. So maybe Warren Buffett is good. Okay, maybe Warren Buffett doesn't want to be greedy. Maybe he's just good. Like, you know what, man? You know what? I'm good with my Apple my Apple stock. If technology, I'll stick to Apple. I will not jump ship or try to invest in Nvidia. Well, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm sure someone else will take a large chunk of Nvidia stocks. We'll see. Actually, I'm going to look up who owns the majority of Nvidia stock and how much billions they own in Nvidia stock. Okay, so this is just how these things work sometimes. Okay, so let's go value investment. We did speak about value investment last time when I began doing my very first videos. We did talk about value investment. Please go check it out. Mort, okay, for Buffett, the most important aspect of stock selection is the mort, okay? A mort refers to an advantage that the company can resist the erosion of its competitors. These advantages can be technology, brand, monopoly, position, etc. A company with a deep moat is like building a steady castle that can sustain stable profits. Like I did say, Warren Buffett is the godfather of investment. Okay, so he understands investment more than even some of these companies who are with valuable stock. Okay, so he's got his own strategy. Nvidia's technology moat is bottomless and may be one of the companies in the United States with the deepest technology moat. Okay, so definitely Nvidia in technology, okay, they are one of the biggest players. Okay, they're one of the biggest players, and obviously, things like their level of technology. Nvidia has been around since 1993. I was actually reading about it. That is when it was started in the United States. The CEO is from Taiwan, I think. He grew up in the States, born in Taiwan, grew up in the States, and had did an engineering degree and another master's degree. Nvidia was started in 1993, so Nvidia's been around for 31 years. Yeah, 31 years, and 31 years to become the world's leading chip manufacturer. Okay, they're into building chips. So all of these things these computers that we use, they need chips. All these technology that you see nowadays, they need these chips. Okay, and Nvidia happens to be one of the best. Nvidia's technology mode is bottomless, so they're a big player. Nvidia has created the world's best GPU. Okay, the world's best GPU. Okay, you know CPU as a central processing unit, right? GPU is short for, let me see, GPU. Graphics, okay? So GPU is graphics processing unit, all about graphic processing units. Microsoft is also in there. So graphic processing unit, a specialized processor originally designed to accelerate graphics rendering. So we're in the world of graphics, and Nvidia they have the number one performing GPU, graphics processing unit, okay? So shout out to Nvidia, man. So Nvidia are the top dog in this graphic processing unit, CPU and GPU. It used to be CPU, now it's GPU. GPU is a lot higher, because these computers and most of the stuff that we do in technology require uh, graphics nowadays. Okay, this is where technology is going. So you can really see that Nvidia has created the world's best GPU. Okay, with products performance surpassing its competitors. Like I did say, they have Intel, and they have. I was actually reading about uh, their competitors yesterday in the article in the CNBC this morning. Were talking. They were also talking about Nvidia's competitors. Let's just skip my mind. But they're saying that their competitors are way below their. Okay, so they have these are their following competitors. They have Intel. Intel's been around for a very, very long time. So these are not only competitors; these are also these are alternative companies like Hewlett Packard. They've been around for a very long time. I remember when I started using computers, I used to see Intel. Even nowadays, you still have some computers with the Intel logo. Hewlett Packard, they were big. You have got Broadcom, NXP, Xilinx, Imagination Technologies. There's one called Umbrella. There is ARM. There is Qualcomm and Nasdaq and MSFT. So there are a lot of companies, but Nvidia are the best. Okay, Nvidia are the best company when it comes to these graphic processors, GPU chips. So they have the largest. Okay, you also have Cisco, Juniper, Dell Technologies, Extreme, Huawei from China, Lenovo from China as well. So they are a lot of popular players in this GPU manufacturing stuff. Um, but this theirs is the best. Theirs is the very, very best. Okay, so they are number one. Okay, they are number one in all of this. So shout out to you, okay? So the chips they sell are very profitable, okay? They sell very profitable chips, and nothing is slowing down, okay? Okay, so out there, Nvidia, there seems like there is no chip that is competing with Nvidia's chips, their chips, okay? There is no other chip that is competing with Nvidia's chip. That is what the report on CNBC was actually talking about today when I was listening to the article on CNBC. Okay, so they've got this one chip that they have. It's called the let me think about the name. They have this one chip that is performing. It's called the H100. So this is their flagship chip. Okay, it's big like this. If you know anything about a motherboard, big like this. So this is their flagship. It's called the H100. And then they have another one which is forthcoming, which is called the GB200. Okay, the GB200. So the H100 and the GB200 are their best chips, and so far so good. They are head above shoulders the competition. So Nvidia has created the best GPU, that's the H100, and the other one that I just said, with product performance surpassing its competitors by 10 streets. Okay, so the competition isn't close. If other companies want to catch up, it won't be possible without 10 or 8 years of really deep and good R&D. And Apple's product design and user experience are excellent with a large number of loyal users. In addition, Apple also has a powerful iOS ecosystem, which makes it difficult for Apple products to be replaced. Yeah, so it's difficult to also replace Apple. People believed in Apple, and actually, Apple is it's more of a product that you can relate to because it's not a chip. Okay, it's a mobile phone, something that's relatable to a lot of people, a mobile phone. So they have a lot of loyal people who want their products because a chip is something that is inside a phone or a computer or stuff like that, but still in the same technological breadth. Chip manufacturers cannot catch up to Nvidia. Okay, so so we'll see, but they do seem to have a lot of competitors. It may appear so, seem to have a lot of competitors, but still, for the meantime, it's the distance is by 10 streets. Okay, and as we did say, the, it may take the competition close to 8 to 10 years to catch up with Nvidia. So shout out to Nvidia, man. Innovation ability. Secondly, innovation ability is also highly valued by Warren Buffett because it ensures that the company can continue to grow and develop in the future. So companies with always new inventions, innovative ability, always coming up with inventions. That is the other thing that Warren Buffett looks into. NVIDIA's product innovation capability is simply amazing. So there is a lot of evidence with NVIDIA that we may see Warren Buffett buying NVIDIA stock because it seems like everything that Warren Buffett considers when he's investing in a company, NVIDIA happens to check all of those boxes. Okay, NVIDIA has planned a three-generation development blueprint for the future, from Blackwell Ultra in 2025 to Rubin in 2026, and then to Rubin Ultra in 2027. Okay, so this is like a three-generation development footprint. If you know about IT or these things, you probably have. Of course, technology has generations, right? There are generations of technology. These are just technological terms. The spirit of continuous innovation has enabled NVIDIA to maintain a leading position in the technology industry. Apple's products, from iPhone to iPad to Mac and various smart devices, are all eye-catching and irresistible, making people want to have them. You see, so iPhone will always dominate, it will always bear. This ability to constantly innovate and launch new products has made Apple a leader in the global technology industry. The same way as Nvidia, their chips, they're always innovating their chips, but probably with chips, chips are, it's more of, this technology that is like we're talking about ChatGPT, right? That Nvidia's chips were used by the ChatGPT company, or they still use theirs because of their high capacity in processing. Okay, so for people in the technology field, they are a very profitable player and ally. Nvidia, let's see now their performance. What does value investment? Okay, financial performance. Okay, so this is their revenue by segment. Okay, this is like over the last 4 years. Nvidia has grown its data center segment and he's saying 20 times, okay, going from 1.1 billion, which is 25% of total revenue, to 22.6 billion, 87%. So this over a period of 4%. Okay, so this is like data revenue, data center. Okay, so data center, this is a breakdown of uh, what they offer, what their catalog, a data center, gaming, professional visualizations, OEM, and others. They're also into automotive. So all these are all the sectors where their chips are used, and you can also see that data center has been going up. Okay, the others has been pretty normal. Okay, gaming, but data center has gone up in terms of revenue, which is really good. In terms of financial performance, Nvidia's recent quarterly financial reports have been impressive, with revenue and profit continuously increasing, and their performance guidance is also optimistic, indicating better performance in the future. There is no doubt about Apple's financial performance because Apple have been an older player. From the iPhone to its service business, their revenue is steadily increasing and profits are abundant. Both companies have demonstrated strong financial strength and growth potential, which is exactly what Buffett likes because they can ensure long-term investment returns. So maybe me, I'll just tell Buffett to, you know what, Warren Buffett, you have a lot of money invested in Apple stock. Just give it 50-50, okay? Because if he's invested 135 billion, take half of that and put into uh, Nvidia. You think Warren Buffett will listen to me? Yeah, so that is the CEO of of Nvidia. Quickly go check him out on Google. He's originally from Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken. You know, they always say that Asian people are very smart, right? Asian people are into the whole technology and stuff like that. Yeah. So he's from Taiwan. His name is it starts with an H. I'm forgetting. Yeah, let me look it up for you guys. Yeah, it's Jensen Huang, right? Jensen Huang. I actually have it in my, as soon as I clicked it. Yeah, Jensen Huang. He's from Taiwan. That's where he was born. You're gonna go check him out there. So he's the founder. Okay, he's not just some guy who came to be when Nvidia had started. No, he started this company with two other people. With two other people, they actually started the company in a place, I think, a place to eat. So he's been there from the beginning. Okay, so Jensen Huang is he is the CEO that you see there. He is 60 something years old, 61 years old. Yep, he lives in America now. He's 61 years old. Also, like his children, he's got two kids. His kids also are working in Nvidia. Okay, he's got two children, a boy and a girl, and they work in different divisions. His whole family, even his wife, he met his wife in Nvidia as well. So his whole family are in Nvidia. Okay, the founder personally serves as CEO, so he's the CEO. Okay, it's his brainchild, it's his baby. Okay, the big shots on Wall Street are particularly fond of companies where the founder personally serves as the CEO, because in such words, treating this company like one's own son and dedicating oneself wholeheartedly is different from those high-paying professional managers. Okay, so it's one thing being called in to manage a company that was started by someone else. And then it's another thing to spearhead and to actually steer a company that you created from scratch until from when it was little, when even no one, when you never thought it would one day be valued at 3 trillion. So from that state to this, so it shows that you've been passionate about it. So their love and sense of responsibility for the company cannot be compared. Okay, so the world's most 100 influential people. So there you have it. Jensen Wang. There you can go read more about him, guys. This is times 100. You can go read about him. About just don't read a lot. Just become familiar with the man. Okay. So this is the man behind Nvidia. He's also the founder of the company. Founded it in 1993. Um, yeah, some 31 years ago. So he founded the company when he was 30 years old. Okay. Yeah. Wow. This is impressive. We like to hear these stories. So investment sometimes it's not easy. It's something that we just throw around. But for okay, financial data. Let's see what the financial data is saying for Nvidia. Oh, Nvidia excellent financial data. So Nvidia has not yet truly entered the hype cycle. They haven't yet entered the hype cycle. Simply means everybody is hyped about um, this product. Uh, like irrational fanaticism. Okay, being driven by emotions. They haven't yet gone there. They are different from maybe companies that produce these items like these ones, like Apple, like things we can relate to, we can use, because there's no way if we give you a chip that you can use it. You have to put a chip inside a computer or something else to be able to fully see how a chip works well. Okay, so Nvidia has not truly entered that hype yet. Okay, the viewpoint is simple. Nvidia's growth shows a geometric progression, while non-linear percentage growth. Okay, so you can see that down there, revenue. This is year-on-year revenue. You can see there, and their revenue has just been like truly has been going up. They do have some years as well where it's kind of slided, but that's a long time ago. But of late, their revenue has just like skyrocketed and gone up. Like I did say, the Chat GPT effect as well. So the viewpoint, the expansion of profit margin is expected. Obviously, profit margins are expected to increase. That's naturally. Nvidia's current valuation multiple has not entered the field of speculation. Okay, so they're not a company that is that the government or other bodies like really have security concerns or speculation. What are they doing this? And they just managed to be steady in how they execute their own business. So this is good for them. Let's see what else. Uh, what we are talking about Nvidia over here. Um, so there you go. Let me make my. Sometimes the video can be a bit small. One of my friends was having a really small video. You couldn't even see it because it was too small. So there you go. Now you can see me. Nvidia excellent financial data. Remaining performance obligations are a leading indicator of revenue, as they reflect the size of the company's backlog of orders. These obligations demonstrate the potential for future revenue and the company's ability to sustain business growth. In this regard, Nvidia has also achieved over 100% year-on-year growth. Okay, that is, they grow on 100% yearly basis. Okay, the market generally expects Nvidia's revenue to be 120 billion in fiscal year 2025, and 97% year-on-year increase. So it's expected that it's going to increase from 61 billion. So their fiscal year for 2024 is expected to be 61 billion, and then next year their fiscal year would have doubled. That is also like a 97% year-on-year increase on their growth, okay, their fiscal growth. Even in fiscal year 2026, the market generally expects them. So we have for fiscal year first quarter 2025, you can see they're 103.4%. And then you have a fourth quarter 2024 and stuff like that. The market generally expects revenue to increase by 31% year on year. Among the companies we observe, few have achieved such astonishing growth rates, especially at a scale of 3 trillion, thanks to ChatGPT. Okay, ChatGPT has helped Nvidia exponentially. Okay, ChatGPT has helped Nvidia to really balloon and to just pop out. Okay, and it's not even close. Okay, it's not even close. So Nvidia is good, is doing good. Nvidia, it's a really good stock. Go check it out. There are so many articles about Nvidia that you can go and actually look for right now, and you can see them. Okay, so that is really good. Okay, so we have a lot of analysts. If you really want to follow some of this news, you can go to people who are, certain individuals analyze different stocks. Okay, so you can go and so there's a bunch of news about Nvidia. How far can Nvidia run, or how far can they go? And so many, there's a lot of exciting news that covers Nvidia that you guys, I feel like you should go and actually read. If you don't go and read it, I'll make videos about it. Don't worry, guys, I have you covered. Okay. Compute. Let's go now. Nvidia, excellent financial data, profit margin performance in terms of profit margin. Nvidia's gross profit margin, you can see the profit margins over there, is gradually approaching 80%. This is gross profit margin with a pre-tax profit margin of around 60%. In the previous video, we proposed a viewpoint about profit margin expansion, which is that. So if you want to find out about the previous video that I'm talking about, guys, please scan the WhatsApp, join our WhatsApp, send us a message in there, and we'll talk to you. Okay. Okay, so that is it. So let's go. In the previous video, we proposed a viewpoint about profit margin expansion, which is that as the proportion of computing and network business increases, the overall EBIT profit margin will also increase, because the EBIT profit margin of this business department is as high as 75%. With this viewpoint is currently being validated, and is expected that the situation will continue as computing and network service continue to be the main drivers of growth. So computing and network services, that is a no-brainer. These are services that are required daily by people. So make sure that you follow and you remain. Okay, so this is a bit of like a cash flow financial data. You can see it's in the millions. April 28, 2028, January 28, 2028, April 30, 33. Okay, these are the 3-month ends. Free cash flow, which is written FCF down there, free cash flow, plays a crucial role in corporate finance. Let me just minimize my face a bit here so that my face doesn't take up. So where we are reflecting the freely available cash that a company obtains from operating activities after deducting capital expenditure. For investors, the growth of this free cash flow, so the free cash flow is money that you can use, okay, after all these expenditures that is not touched, is often seen as an important indicator of a company's financial health and future growth potential. So you can see for them, uh, their free cash flow margin has been going pretty up ever since April 30, 2023. It's now from all the way from 36.75% all the way to 57.35%. And you can see that the revenue has been going there as well in millions, millions of dollars. We're talking about 26 million there, all the way from a paltry 7 million in 2020, and from January to this year, it's jumped by a whopping 6 million there. So they seem to be like doing, they're driving growth and revenue at the same time. Nvidia is good. So tell Warren Buffett to go ahead, um, invest in Nvidia. Okay. So there we go. Free cash flow. Nvidia is excellent. This is their financial data. So this is a side by side of Nvidia against Microsoft cash flow estimates. So we have Nvidia in the what's that color? A darker blue, purple, I think. Yeah, um, and then 2025 and then 2026. So 60 billion and just above 60 billion for Microsoft. These are estimates, guys. So free cash flow, according to predictions from Wall Street analysts, Nvidia's free cash flow is expected to reach 78.7 billion and 9.1 billion in fiscal years 2025 to 2026 respectively, surpassing Microsoft, currently the world's highest market capitalization company. So which company is the world's highest capped? It's Microsoft. Okay. So this is data that it might surpass in 2026, 2025, 2026. They're gonna what? Their free cash flow is expected um, to exceed that of Microsoft. Okay. This optimistic prediction is mainly driven by the surge in demand. So exactly. This optimistic prediction is mainly driven by the surge in demand for NVIDIA AI chips, right? We did talk about NVIDIA ChatGPT, and they've gone into the partnership. So you see ChatGPT being profitable. ChatGPT is powered by NVIDIA's AI chips. As software companies increasingly rely on these powerful processors to support their AI models, the demand for NVIDIA products in the market has also increased. I talked this earlier that what caused Nvidia's valuation to exceed 3 trillion was its association with ChatGPT. So ever since ChatGPT started to take off, and also ChatGPT increasing in valuation, the same thing started to happen for what? Nvidia as well. Meanwhile, spending from software giants such as Microsoft, Amazon, and Google is also driving up the stock price of Nvidia and other semiconductor companies. The growing demand for high performance processors from these companies also reflects the rapid development of fields such as AI and big data processing. So, yep, all these companies, your Microsoft and Amazons, they're not just watching, they're also trying to cook up something and do something like that to catch up. You know, they're all now trying to invent their own AI, and and also you do know that the new Apple's new AI Apple's new AI, Apple's new software. I mean, their software that's going to come is also going to incorporate ChatGPT. So that's more good news for both ChatGPT and who? And Nvidia. As one of the leading semiconductor companies, Nvidia is expected to continue to gain market share and achieve growth in free cash flow under this trend. So shout out to these guys, man. They are ahead. So let's see at the valuation multiples. Um, there we go. The reasonableness of valuation multiples. Nvidia's valuation multiple has not reached the level of speculation naturally. When discussing the current valuation status of Nvidia, we inevitably compared it with Cisco stock. You know, Cisco routers, they were also into networking and stuff like that during the internet form in the 2000s. At that time, Wharton Business School professor Jeremy Siegel had warned that investors should be extra careful when a company's stock price exceeded its earnings by 50 to 60 times, defining this area as a speculative area. They're talking about the, the internet revolution in the early 2000s. Um, for NVIDIA, the current 1 year forward PE ratio is about 42 times, which is significantly lower than the hype standard defined by Professor Jeremy Siegel. You know, analysts will always speak, and professors, that is what they get paid to do. Although NVIDIA's PE ratio was close to 70 times in May 2023, it sharply dropped to a low of 25 times in the remainder of 2023. Meanwhile, NVIDIA's stock price or market value continues to rise. This indicates that that the driving force behind the stock return here is an optimistic expectation of basic returns rather than a reassessment of valuation multiple. Nvidia. Send a message, guys. So there you go, right there. They have been catching on steam. So that is the fall that we're talking about. PE multiple falls, but price rises due to fundamental earning growth. So the PE is the blue, but the price is in the gray one, the gray line, which is going upward. And this is tracking from May 2023. This is their stock price. And you can see it gets super ridiculous, especially in March 2024, April is just going up. Um, and this is the power of ChatGPT, like I did say. This year we have seen both stock prices and PE ratios rise. So you can see stock price is rising in last year, a bit of segment. Last year, stock price was riding, but P ratio was kind of dropping. It kind of came down, but then again, it just started going up and rising together. As the price rises, now PE ratio also rising. So it's a good indicator. So this year we have seen both stock prices and P ratios rise, indicating that there is also some room for growth in the PE ratio. So yeah, there is a positive signs for the PE ratio, you know. So price to earnings, okay, price to earnings ratio. Earnings per share, price to earnings per share ratio, okay? So it's really going right now. It's really good. P ratio is just a valuation metric, guys, just to evaluate the okay. Now, when stock returns are excessively driven by reassessment rather than basic profit growth, market optimism and the risk of market peaking is automatically higher. However, considering Nvidia's recent PE ratio and market value growth trends, it is understandable that some investors become cautious. Okay, some of them they are, there's, people, investors are investors. Okay, they have their own way of understanding whether it's investors or people who analyze this on a more professional scale. Okay, and also indeed, although Nvidia, as Cisco in the 2000s were compared in some aspects, to be honest, Nvidia's fundamentals were much stronger than Cisco at that time. The current valuation level is far from reaching that dangerous level of hype. Like we did speak earlier, Nvidia is not that company that will succumb to hype, or it's not the kind of company to a lot of speculation like what Cisco did in the 2000. If you remember Cisco, I think there was a product known as Cisco routers. They were into networking. They were also a technology company. Mm, so I know something about Cisco. Make sure you follow us, guys. Make sure you stay. If you want to know more about stuff, if you want us to give you more material about this, or you want us to tell you our sources, please make sure that you scan the what's up, and we can see you next time. Okay.